All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. The invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Codish.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this day and thank you for our beautiful county. Please guide our hearts and minds as we make our decisions today. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask this in the name of the Lord. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business, or motion to approve the minutes from the September 29th, 2022 meeting.
I'll move the motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of the bills, Commissioner Postal.
Okay, starting with accounts payable total $166,487.86. Payroll account this cycle is $481,976.47. We have payables in the 911 account for $50,507.15. And we have one check through the liquid fuels account for $5,941. Motion to pay the bills.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Treasurer's report. Treasurer Griffith.
Morning. This is the Treasurer's report for 9/28 through 10/4/2022. We have a starting balance in the general account of $7,636,478.12. Total debits, $362,403.70. Treasurer's office agrees with the bills as read by Commissioner Postal. Ending balance in the general account is $7,350,417.49. Other balances would include liquid fuels with a balance of $311,983.07. Act 89, $463,081.43. 911 telephone account, $988,632.05. LEPC, $20,241.89. Local use fund, $478,897.59. And finally, capital reserve account has a balance of $8,756,813.53.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting and events, Commissioner Postal.
I gave a list to the chief clerk for minutes.
Commissioner Codish.
I did the same, and I'd also like to welcome Cassie Himes and Chase Deemer from MCTV. Thanks for filming today.
I also will provide a list. Public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. New business of proclamation honoring the 2022 Mifflin County 14-year-old junior Babe Ruth All-Stars. Commissioner Codish.
Thank you. Whereas it is the intent of the Mifflin County Commissioners to recognize outstanding achievements of individuals, athletic teams, and organizations in Mifflin County. And whereas we, the Commissioners of Mifflin County, join with our community in recognition of the tremendous accomplishments of the Mifflin County 14-year-old Junior Babe Ruth All-Stars. And whereas the Mifflin County 14-year-old Junior Babe Ruth All-Stars were Pennsylvania finalists, and whereas the team captured the 2022 Mid-Atlantic Region Babe Ruth title, and whereas the team secured 5th place honors at the 2022 Babe Ruth World Series, and whereas the tremendous season can be credited to not only the commitment of manager Bill Corbin, the assistant coaches, and the parents, but also to the determination and spirit of the entire team. And whereas these outstanding young men have demonstrated admirable sportsmanship as well as athletic ability, and whereas we are privileged and honored to recognize these young citizens of Mifflin County, Joel Beamer, Michael McNitt, Logan Ruth, Madden Weaver, Reese Christine, Nate Parks, Braxton Smith, Elliot Yetter, Chase Hartung, Gavin Powell, Jaden Smith, Max Yoder, Chase Leister, Bo Reeder, and Mosaic Traxler. Manager of the team, Bill Corbin. Coach Cole Cadable. Coach Bob Mowry, Coach Matt Weaver, and Coach Denny Yetter. Whereas the contributions of these dedicated individuals have provided our community with much pleasure and pride, now therefore, we, the Mifflin County Commissioners, on behalf of all citizens of Mifflin County, do hereby wish to extend our congratulations and appreciation for their great effort and superior achievement. Proclaim this 6th day of October, 2022, Commissioners Sunderland, Postal, and Kopish. I move we accept this proclamation.
I will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Would you like to get a picture with you guys?
How about Manager Corbin?
Say anything, Bill?
Well, again, I'd like to thank the commissioners for this proclamation, for giving let the kids do the work. I really didn't expect to be here 2 years in a row. That's just crazy, but and I want to thank the people from Mifflin County, because again, Babe Ruth's cut back on what they give us to get to the World Series, and the Mifflin Countyans came through as usual to help us get there. And it's one of the reasons why I've never left Mifflin County, because I just love it here. And I will say, the people in North Dakota were really great to us out there. It almost seemed like being back in Mifflin County. And they were really fantastic people. I do want to say the kids in the preliminary things, I don't know that we had ever won any of the preliminary awards. And Bo Reeder won the Home Run Derby. He also won I think it was called Hit the Ball. Is that what the thing was called? And we actually led the infield drill we had to go first, and we led it till the last team, which was Tri-Valley, beat us by a couple seconds, and they actually ended up winning the tournament. So again, I'd like to thank everybody. Again, thank my coaches, thank the kids for a great ride, and as Kevin, you know, the people in Mifflin County are just great supporters. And even with the regionals out here at Milroy, the last game, the place was just packed. So it was wonderful. Thank you again.
Any of you boys have anything you want to add? Should have won. We'd like to get a picture.
Back next year.
All right, we're going to continue. This time we have a Cdb Public Hearing for the FFY 2022 application. Cbdg Administrator Chastity Bowles.
Morning. I'm here this morning to hold a second of two required public hearings for the annual federal fiscal year 2022 Cbdg application. This year, Mifflin County has received $223,175, of which $40,171 is given to the Cbdg staff to administer the program. That leaves $183,004 for project cost. This year we received two applications for the county's share of the funds. The one was from the Juniata Terrace water main replacement, and the second was for the Lockport Stormwater Improvements Project. The Juniata Terrace water main replacement, we actually already submitted an application for a special allotment of funds through DCD called the Cdbg CV funds. We have not heard yet if there has been any awards to anybody. They don't expect those announcements until the end of October. So in anticipation that the terrace may not be funded, we don't know for sure either way. We're trying to be proactive, and if it does not get funded with the CV competitive rounds, we would like to apply for a Cbdg competitive application. The estimated cost for the overall project is about $1 million. So in order to apply for a competitive project, we have to allocate 75% of our funds towards, excuse me, 75% of our entitlement funds towards the project. So we are recommending to commit $167,382 towards the Juniata Terrace main water replacement. The second project we received was for Lockport Road stormwater improvements. It's just a small section of roadway. The overall project is around $85,000. What we are intending to do is commit $15,622 of this year's funds. If we don't have to put the money into the Juniata Terrace water main, we would then fully fund the Lockport Stormwater Improvements project this year. If we have to commit the funds to Juniata Terrace water main replacement, we would recommend committing the rest of the project dollars next year to fully complete the Lockport Stormwater Improvements project. If these projects are agreeable with the commissioners, I would ask that upon conclusion of my hearing that we would pass a cumulative resolution not only for just the county projects, but for all of the other entitlement projects as well. Armall Township has committed their funds towards demolition of blighted structures. Brown Township is committing their funds to Phase 3 of the Walnut Street Sidewalk Program or project improvements. Derry Township is committing to Yeagertown Road reconstruction. Granville Township is committing to single-family residential housing rehabilitation. And Lewistown Borough is slip lining of sanitary sewer or stormwater pipes through the first ward of Lewistown Borough. The application is due this year to DCD by October 28th, and we'll be well on our way to meet that goal and deadline. At this time, I'd like to ask if there's any public comment.
Actually, just a quick question. On all of these except one, it says delivery cost of $4,000. What is that?
The delivery cost has to do with our staff direct cost to that particular project. That includes environmental review of the project. It can also works with putting the project out for bid. When we put a project out for bid, we have to put 2 advertisements in the paper and the Sentinel. That usually costs about $1,000 or more for those costs, and everything that we need to do, depending on the size of the project, we also have to review certified payrolls every week, and we have to go out and do employee interviews. We have to make sure that there's all the contract compliance with everything, so that accounts for the staff time.
Okay, and apparently it's a flat fee of $4,000.
Pretty much, unless a project is located in a floodplain, then it would be higher because we have additional costs through the environmental review process. But pretty much $4,000 is, we feel comfortable with compensating staff time.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And that concludes my public hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We have resolution number 29 of 2022 authorizing the submission of an application for FFY 2022 CDBG program, CDB Administrator Chastity Policy, anything like that. Is
No.
there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have resolution number 30 of 2022 supporting Operation Green Light for veterans, veteran service officers. James Conway.
Thank you, Commissioners. The Green Light program is something that's been going on now for a while, starting to get a lot of momentum. And what it is a lot of people aren't really aware of it. So the color green is the color of hope and renewal, and well-being. And the green light is also a term commonly used to activate forward movement. And we use that a lot in the military. And it's simple act of changing one green light is intended to spark national conversation regarding and recognition of veterans and green light forward valued members as valued members of our community. And we're blessed to have a couple of our service members from our community here in Mifflin County as well. So America's veterans are some of our nation's bravest and hardworking people that we have as members of our community, whether full-time, part-time, reserves, active, whatever. However, it's sometimes hard to show them the appreciation that they deserve, and sometimes they're very humble when it comes to doing what they do. And the simple act of just putting a green light in your house on your on your porch light, or try not to get emotional, it's deep for me, but just to say thank you to the veterans. We can't tell them enough. So I'd like to thank them guys for being here, and as you guys know, it's near and dear to me. So thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
Guys want to speak? They are husband and wife, by the way. So, but no, they're members of our guardian, and we're just blessed to have them here today.
Mr. Coastal, will you read the resolution?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the resolution number 30 of 2022 supporting Operation Green Light for veterans. Whereas the residents of Mifflin County have great respect, admiration, and the utmost gratitude for all of the men and women who have selflessly served our country and this community in the armed forces. And whereas the contributions and sacrifices of the men and women who served in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedoms and way of life enjoyed by our citizens. And whereas Mifflin County seeks to honor these individuals who have paid the high price for freedom by placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all. And whereas veterans continue to serve our community in the American Legion, veterans of foreign wars, religious groups, civil service, and by functioning as county veteran service officers to help fellow former service members access more than $52 billion in federal health, disability, and compensation benefits each year. And whereas about 200,000 service members transition to civilian communities annually. And whereas studies indicate that service members may experience high levels of stress during transition from military to civilian life. And whereas active military service members transitioning from military service are at a high risk for suicide during their first year after military service. And whereas the National Association of Counties encourages all counties and municipalities to recognize Operation Green Light for veterans. And whereas the Mifflin County appreciates the sacrifices of our United States military personnel and believes specific recognition should be granted. Therefore, be it resolved, with designation as Green Light for Veterans County, Mifflin County hereby declares from October through Veterans Day, November 11th, 2022, a time to salute and honor the service and sacrifice of our men and women in uniform transitioning from active service in observance of Operation Green Light. Mifflin County encourages its citizens in patriotic tradition to recognize the importance of honoring all those who have made immeasurable sacrifices to preserve freedom by displaying a green light in a window of their place of business or residence. Adopted by the Board of Commissioners of the County of Mifflin, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, this 21st day of April 2022, Board of Commissioners, Sunderland, Postal, and Codish. Make a motion to adopt the resolution number 30.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Sergeant Joseph Thurgood.
One like ranked higher than the other.
She beats me out of it.
Sing at home to her.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we have a request for exoneration of 2022 county portion per capita taxes. Meadow Township Tax Collector Cynthia Cleaver has 2, and Juniata Terrace Borough Tax Collector Susie Tyson has 1. Is there a motion to approve exonerations?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have an award notification for the Intermediate Punishment Program grant, the amount of $93,650. Chief Probation Officer Nick Woodville.
Morning. This is for our intermediate punishment grant, which is pretty much our last chance before prison opportunity for people. This program helps keep people out of jail and under supervision of electronic monitoring, intensive treatment, intensive supervision through our department. It's also very beneficial for keeping families together, people staying employed or getting employment as part of the program. So it benefits pretty much everyone in Mifflin County by having programs like this up and running.
Questions?
This has been a program, this is a renewal.
Yes, it's a renewal. We try to keep this program running as much as possible. It's very beneficial.
You know how many people go through this in a year's time?
I don't know the exact numbers, but there's a good amount, especially people that are on the borderline of prison. We try to always lean this direction before just sending people to prison and giving them that last chance to get things together. It's our most intensive program, so it gives the last resort of everything we have before sending you to the state where they take over and kind of provide their treatment to you.
Second DUI highs have a terrible sentencing cap, like 5 years. The state put mandatory minimums on for DUIs, and the second highest rate has a 5-year cap. You can't do that locally. So this is the way out. It's not tough, not too tough to get a second DUI at the highest rate. And if you do, you're going to state prison, and we can't keep you local. It's 90 days to 5 years. This is the answer for 90 days to 5 years. So I would venture with Nick to say there are quite a few people in this program, more people than you would think, wind up benefiting from this program. Yeah.
Pretty much any one that we can justify.
Yeah.
We'd like to give the opportunity.
Well, Nick, do you work with social service agencies and Career Link? I mean, how do you
Yes,
coordinate?
we work with Career Link if they don't have employment. Right now, luckily, a lot of people are employed, but the ones that don't, until they find employment, generally will do community service, which helps kind of motivate people to find jobs quicker so they get paid for their work, and seems to be very effective. A lot of people are getting employment pretty quick right now.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have the Intermediate Punishment Program agreement with Clear Concepts Counseling for counseling services for the period July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023, in the amount of $15,955. Again, Chief Probation Officer Nick Woodville.
So one of our treatment providers, Clear Concepts, some of the programs that they help offer through this grant is intensive outpatient, group counseling, individual counseling, and team meetings. And that's all part of that intensive supervision and intensive treatment levels that we use as part of this program to help get people going in the right direction. That's just a little more specific breakdown on it.
Any questions? For motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thanks, Nick. We have an award notification for the Reentry Strategic Planning Grant in the amount of $14,999 with Human Services Director Allison Fisher.
Hello. This is a grant that we apply for about every 3 years because PCCD, Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, who is one of our major grant funders, likes to see us do this strategic planning process every so often. And so the grant came around. We haven't done one for 3 years. We thought the timing was good, so we went after it, got it. And the grant will pay for our grant writer's time and a consultant's time to do the writing of the plan.
So when do you think we'll start this?
Probably not until January, to be really honest, Rob. Yeah, just timing. And we are using the consultant that we are using on the dashboard process for this. And so I would like to see us get a few more dashboard reports in before we would start the process with the CJAB, so I'm thinking January.
motion approved.
So moved.
Second.
Thank
All those
you.
in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We have a bid for the HVAC replacement at the Lewistown and Dairy Senior Centers and HVAC and electrical upgrades in the shelter services and housing rehab specialist Doug Martin.
Thank you. This was a project that was recently bid on September 29th. We received no bids for the HVAC portion of the contract, which is at the Dairy Township Senior Center, Lewistown Senior Center, and the Shelter Services Incorporated building. We also had another contract for an electrical upgrade at the shelter, and we did receive one bid for that. However, we are not allowed to accept one bid on the first time, so we did not open the bid, and we returned that to the contractor. This project is going to be rebid upon rejection of that bid, and then hopefully we'll be due by the end of October. This is something we need to get moving along, so we need to get it through. It's our understanding if we receive one bid after the second bidding, that if the bids are acceptable and we get approval from DCD, that then we can award to a single contractor. So we're hoping we get additional bids, but that's our intention. We'll go from there. So what I'm asking for you to do is reject the electrical bid as unopened, and then we will begin the rebidding process. Thank you.
Questions? Motion to reject the bid.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We have a 2-year agreement with WBA for employee vision coverage for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2024. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have a quote from the Park Security Installations for the prison camera system, the amount of $40,965.20. Warden is going to be here, but he's unable still. If there's any questions, we'll answer them. If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have resolution number 31 of 2022 setting forth certain guarantees in relation to an application for improvement of the Mifflin County Library through the Keystone Recreation Park and Conservation Fund grants for public library facilities.
Mr. Chairman, if I may explain this a bit, and also this is applicable to the next action item. We're not completely finished with this application. The application due date is October 14th, but this is the only public meeting that we will have before that application due date. So I'm going to eventually make a motion over to prove that the resolution be approved, but with the understanding that the project has not yet been approved. We haven't agreed on the scope of the project, basically. And so until the scope and the financing is approved, and hopefully we will do that by October 14th, that application would be submitted. But again, it's because of the timing, we're not going to have a chance to approve this prior to that application deadline. I'm going to make a motion to approve this, to approve the resolution.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We note it's contingent upon agreement, specifically contingent upon there being an agreement to the final terms.
And similarly then, Mr. Chairman, the next action item is a commitment of funds. We haven't, again, agreed on the scope, although this commitment is for the county to commit $500,000 toward the matching local share. The application from the Department of Education requires a 50-50 match, and so we're assuming that this project will be about $1 million. That's why we are matching it with $500,000, but again, we have not yet agreed on the total scope of this. So this will be rescinded if we do not eventually agree on how that application should be submitted. And what's the language?
Specifically contingent. Specifically contingent upon the reaching of an agreement before the submission. But if it's not, it won't get submitted.
And I'll move that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Under personnel, with the promotion of part-time corrections officer Ryan Snyder to corrections counselor effective October 10th, 2022. Hiring a part-time corrections officer Abraham David effective October 8th, 2022. Hiring of part-time correction officers Taylor Knight and Jared Knight effective October 17th, 2022. Transfer Sarah Krummenager from New Children and Youth Office Manager to Domestic Relations Secretary, PAC-SES Administrator, effective October 17, 2022. And retirement of Domestic Relations Secretary, PAC-SES Administrator Denise Gussler, effective December 31st, 2022. Is there a motion to approve the personnel items?
Oh, second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. No further business? We're adjourned.